Bitcoin is dumping right now. As we speak, Bitcoin is plummeting, but it's okay because we're going to be going over exactly what is going to happen next. Figuring out not just what Bitcoin's doing, but what comes next is absolutely critical. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on. We're also going to be here helping you weather the storm. So if that's exciting to you guys, go ahead, smash up those likes, and we'll go ahead and let some people hop up in the chat, get involved here before we move on to really explaining what's going on, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. Today, we are looking at a Bitcoin dump live right here, broadcasting live. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Yep, this is what we've been waiting for. We're going to look at the various possibilities of Bitcoin's dump. We're going to look at everything from, how this compares to previous dumps on the cycle, how this compares to previous dumps on prior cycles. We're going to be looking at what happens when both Ethereum and Bitcoin both dump in unison, and we're going to be coming to some conclusions as to what happens next and what we can be looking for, trying to glean as much as we can from the altcoin behavior, the flow of liquidity between the markets, understanding how wallets are moving. There's going to be a lot to cover, and I'm super excited for it. If you guys are excited for it, go ahead, smash those likes up. Remember, as always, each and every comment on this video is entered to win your very own hardware wallet. Smash up those likes. That's right. We got 2,000 people in the building. Let's see if we can break our records here. I think we have like 6,000 or 7,000 live at a time. Really flattered. The channel has been growing super fast. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who are new to this, who aren't used to these kinds of fluctuations in the market. So we're going to be doing our best to try to give you guys a little bit of perspective. I think that really understanding how emotional these types of situations can be, understanding how emotional this entire ride of cryptocurrency is, and that those emotions really tend to drive a lot of people out of the market. And understanding that, to me, the game always kind of remains the same, unless we're looking at, the beginning of an historic bear market, which I don't think is possible at this point in time, right? Anything is possible, but I don't think that is likely. That's like a less than 1% chance. And so to me, as long as we're not entering into a total reversal of the trend, what it is another chance, another opportunity for the market dynamics to come into play and to start transferring liquidity from majors, from Bitcoin into majors and majors into mid caps and low caps. And so we're going to be looking at the market dynamics and, of course, going through as much information as we can to determine what happens next, what happens right after this. And, of course, just looking at Bitcoin and kind of tracking it right now through this storm that it's going through, because understanding that things can change really rapidly, really fast, as you're seeing with Bitcoin right now. And, even this hourly chart, we're seeing some extreme volatility out of Bitcoin. Love from across the pond, says Daniel Andre. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the super chat. Looking at everybody here in the chat room right now. Paul Shirley, Miguel Angelo, David Faup. Love back to everybody. Shout out to everybody. Anchor update, please. I'll check out Anchor in a bit. I haven't looked into them in a couple of weeks. I'll have to do it. My eyes look like gemstones. Thank you. Appreciate that. Very informative and hard work. Thank you guys so much for all the nice comments. Alliance Block, Alliance Block is killing it. We're gonna have some updates on some cool altcoins. Thank you for the super chat, Squiggly Wiggins. Very nice, just for thanking me for being me. Appreciate that. Yeah. Thanks for all the advice. Gosh, it's so nice when people super chat and they just don't want to just shill their token. It's actually really nice. It makes me feel good that you guys are just enjoying this community. As always, guys, you don't have to super chat. It's not necessary at all. You guys are more than welcome to just enjoy and chat normally. And so thank you guys so much for joining, really. 3,100 of you guys. If you guys could all give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Let's hop into the window view here, and we'll go ahead and we will chop me down here so that I'm not blocking this. And so what you're seeing here right now is you're seeing a pretty violent move here. Let's go ahead and check this out and do a measurement on this, where if we take the wick here, we're actually getting, there's a couple ways to look at this, because technically, Bitcoin kind of topped this move here about, what was this? I guess this was actually just yesterday. So this isn't a very long time to see this play out, right? This is pretty low time frame stuff. If we go back to and you can see here on the hourly candle, actually, you can see this amazing, this huge buy volume that's just come in here. Look, this buy candle and this volume, if you see this in the bottom part of the screen here, you can see this green candle on the volume, and you can see that this is a huge amount of volume coming into buy-in here at about the $34,000 range. We can see that this single candle pretty much, or this single set of candles, took us about 16% down. If we measure from the top of the wick here, we're about, what is this? 18%. That's about as violent of a drop as we've seen, and it's actually in range with some of the drops we've seen over here. Like if we look over here to the drop from the 4K range all the way down here to the 27K range, we got about the same thing, 20%. And so we're seeing similar stuff here. If we go back again to where was it? Where's our last drop? I think we saw something similar over here. No, it doesn't quite get us there. Forget where the last drop is, but the point is we've been seeing similar. This is about the level of violence that we see here on this new bull run, whereas on our last bull run, as we'll see, the level of violence was significantly higher, guys. Gosh, so many super chats coming in. Such a great human being. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you guys. Dylan Thomas, love the videos. Thoughts on Band? Yeah, we'll get to sort of thoughts on sectors soon, and Band fits into the Oracle sector, in my opinion. And hi, Elliot. Thanks giving for your amazing content, helping people learn as much as you can. Parachute, thanks. Okay, Oliver, thank you so much. I'll get to sort of altcoin specific content in a bit. Thanks, everybody, for the super chat again. You guys don't have to super chat. I appreciate you guys just coming, showing love. The best thing you can do for this content is give me a thumbs up. That is the absolute best thing you could do for me, is just like this video. That's all I ask is for a like. So looking at this, we're looking at what could be potentially this reversal candle, that what we're seeing is another red candle come in here before. Again, we've been calling for on this channel a bit of a correction, right? We've been calling for that this can only kind of go on so long, this continued unabated bullishness out of Bitcoin. It's just not something that can continue forever. And if we look back here, what we see here is I wanted to look back at some of these prior dumps here and try to understand, maybe what we're looking at is a dump that was like this one. Again, we're on a daily candle, a daily chart here. Remember that. Whereas we were on an hourly chart here. If we switch to the daily chart, it looks really different. If we switch to the daily chart, it's just, it's pretty much straight up, right? It's pretty much straight up. So the daily chart here, you can see we get like 2 red candles, and this one's now getting fought for right here. But if we switch to the daily candle here, you can see this dump right here in the end of May, right? The end of May dump here. This was, in my opinion, a kind of fake out dump, right? Because you see just a couple of days later, we rallied higher. But then again, that might be what happened here, right? That might be the akin to what happened here. The May 24th dump might be a very similar thing to what happened here, where we're just trying to push for a little more legs on this local move. And before we reach, some kind of local top, before it takes a while for the formation to push onward and upward. You can see here in the beginning of June, when we actually had something capitulate in 2017, it took us, what is this, about 2 weeks, 3 weeks really, before we sort of blasted onward and upward and made new highs. And so the whole formation here actually takes a while to play out. What's up, Elio? New to your channel. Love your content. Great. Thanks. BTC bouncing. Yes, it is. And that's the thing, is that you guys have to understand that violence and these incredible volatility moves are part of the story. You don't get to $100,000. You don't get to 500K. You don't get to $1 million without some extreme movements. That's just how it goes. It moves in dynamic ways. And Bitcoin tends to move in really dynamic ways, and then kind of also be boring when it's not doing that. So the more that you're in this industry, the more that these types of things do not surprise you and shake you, and you can actually gain a lot of perspective on them. But I also wanted to show you here, we also had an Ethereum dump, right? Where we're looking at Ethereum, and this happened right at the same time. Like here, we're looking at Bitcoin. Here's what happened to Bitcoin from June. Like it does this move from June 11th through the 17th in 2017, and it moves down about 40%. And we see a very violent move here by Ethereum, which, wouldn't you know, starts on the, what is this, really the 14th or the 12th? It's almost the exact same timing here, right? And so you can look at these new moves, which you're seeing, a big sort of Bitcoin instability and dump here, starting here on the 8th, or sorry, on the 8th, yep. And then we can see, Ethereum, let's go ahead and just kind of copy this chart out because I don't want to mess up the view we have. But we're seeing the same sort of thing play out on Ethereum that we've seen before on Bitcoin. And look, the Bitcoin and Ethereum chart's playing super similarly right now. With a very similar size and stature of the dump here, right? We have, what is this, a 20% dump here, 18%, and 18% over the exact same period. So you can really start to see some patterns here emerging. And Bitcoin and Ethereum, again, Ethereum is becoming so similar to the way it's traded to Bitcoin. And that's why there's so much opportunity in Ethereum, seeing the absolute unique use case to Bitcoin for the long term. Ethereum is really defying the actual categorization of an altcoin. And these types of things are good to show the maturity, in my opinion, of Ethereum. And seeing them play together shows to me the long-term value. But then what you also want to see here is, how did this play out? What happened here when these same exact, when you saw almost identical movements of these coins between Ethereum and Bitcoin on prior cycles, how did this affect the other coins? And what we're going to talk about in just a second is how liquidity flowed from, Bitcoin and Ethereum into the altcoins during these times. And then, of course, obviously, if this is what we're looking at, not a lot happened here. Although alts were doing really well, this is obviously a fake out, right? That we ended up, it all, if you zoom out far enough, it's all a fake out, right? It's all a fake out. And that's the thing that I kind of like people to understand is that nobody's ever bought the top yet on Bitcoin. Nobody's ever bought the top yet. It's never happened. Obviously, 2 days ago, you could say that was the top, but until proven otherwise. And so, having a low time preference on Bitcoin and Ethereum is key. But also, that's why I'm super excited about altcoins, because there are some really amazing things happening in the altcoin space, and they're not as proven, but they will, in my opinion, benefit from liquidity kind of not focused 100% on Bitcoin and Ethereum. By having Ethereum essentially get a little bit, just a little bit, and Bitcoin just get a little bit of the show stolen from them, we can potentially see some really amazing things happen. There's actually a Twitter that I really like, who I'm going to shout out right now. Not just so you guys know, there's a lot of new people on this channel, and so I guys want you to know that altcoins are way riskier, and that you need to be, as Ivan on Tech says, wearing your big boy pants and understanding that you need to really take responsibility for your actions here. Me saying something about an altcoin, or this Twitter account, or anybody covering a particular coin or any type of asset in the space does not mean that it's our responsibility. You guys have to do your own research. Don't ever just take my word for it. You have to learn and evolve your own understanding of the space. That said, he's actually got some good information. And so Pepe the Goat, Adam Hoddle, definitely give him a follow. And he put this up, which I thought was a really nice one, which is first the BTC blood, then the ETH blood, then alts get. I'm not going to say this because we don't want to get demonetized here on YouTube. But this means that we could be looking at a big movement from the liquidity into the majors, into the alts. And I would like to point back at what happened, of course, during August, what happened during July and August for DeFi coins, as this insane growth where you had, a major, what I call like the DeFi blue chips here, of which Synthetics is most certainly one. You see Synthetics making this amazing move, what is this, from pretty much like, what is this, under $1, upwards of $7, like a 10x here throughout the course of, a month or two. And this was a huge motion of liquidity into the altcoins, specifically DeFi coins. And remember, DeFi is still the flavor of the bull run. It is still the big innovation that is different from last bull run, just like ICOs were the big innovation that was different in 2017 from 2013. There was no ICOs going on in 2017 or 2013 rather. And so you look at each bull run, while they do move in really similar cycles and time-wise, sort of corresponding to the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, there's always a flavor. There's a flavor of the altcoin season, and the flavor this year is DeFi. And I tell people not to ever underestimate the power of narratives, the power of flavors, if you will, of these bull runs, because those narratives are really, really powerful. The concept of unlocking traditional finance in the decentralized world is extremely, extremely powerful. And the potential dollar numbers that could come with that are astronomical, right? So even though, this coin, Synthetics, which is, got $1.9 billion in market cap, well, the reality is in the traditional finance world, $1.9 billion is pretty much nothing, right? It's absolutely nothing. That's one high net worth individual, right? That's one billionaire. But we're talking about the financial world is hundreds of trillions, right? So thousands and thousands of times, hundreds of thousands of times this number or this number here. I'll get my head out of the way a little bit. But that's what I try to talk about here, is to understand that the flavors of these altcoin runs can be really astronomical. And that's why, even during this huge blow off top, this was all good accumulation zones, because now we see Synthetics pushing up towards all-time high about 4 hours ago. And to me, seeing the ebb and flow from, as Bitcoin's crashing, seeing coins like Synthetics pushing up towards their all-time highs, especially when they're the flavor, right? They're the flavor of the bull run. And then, just clicking into the DeFi majors, we can see here that DeFi in general just continues to push higher and higher and higher. And if we look at the 24 hours, right, you get a little bit of a dip here because of Ethereum. But if we look at the 1 hour charts here, you're seeing idle finance with a 12% pump on the 1 hour chart. This is as Bitcoin's dumping. You have a 9% move out of 0x and Synthetics and Orion, XDAI stake and Compound. You're starting to see big greens flow in to the DeFi majors. And I think that's a good indication that we could start seeing some serious liquidity enter into the altcoins. Now, I'm going to be coming out with my altcoin picks for the next few weeks. Again, I want to emphasize that these are just the coins I like. I happen to have been right a lot in the past, but I want you guys to understand that when altcoins tend to have big surges, there's a lot of stuff that'll pump. Some things will pump and they won't even be good. Some things won't pump and they're really good. So it's all about just statistical likelihoods of getting yourself into the right coins and making sure that you're ready for the 80-90% likelihood that you're in a good coin that will benefit from the movement of the market. But nothing is a guarantee. There's absolutely no guarantees. Good things can dump too, and you have to really have your iron skin on there. And if you find something you really believe in, then you'll be able to weather the storm and wait for the reward, which does happen typically with the really good projects. I'm going to hop into the chat right now, get a little bit of, God, I know I've missed a lot of super chats. I'm really sorry. We've been waiting on you all day, lost 6K already, getting nervous. Help us resuscitate us. Squiggly Wiggins, thank you for that. Again, just one channel here, but look, we have almost 6,000 people in the chat. That's really powerful, guys, really powerful. And I thank you all for showing up. But understand that the greatest power comes from you educating yourself and you taking the time to learn about this industry. And I've seen this. All the people in August when we had this top, let's go back and look at Synthetics in August, right? All the people in August when we had this top were saying this or in September, we're saying this, Elio, here we were at the beginning of September, riding high. Synthetics was, what the heck? Yeah, Synthetics was riding high here, $7 or whatever. And then we got this crash all the way into September, and it just got bloodier and bloodier. And everyone was saying this to me, Elio, how could you tell us about these coins? They're going down. I'm losing money. Why? How could you, Elio? And most of them sold, right? Most of them sold, and they sold. They left their bags. They sold at a loss here, and they're no longer celebrating, right? They're not celebrating this part, because they're worried about their 1 hour change of market cap, of portfolio value. And so that's the thing, right? If you're looking at your 1 hour change, your portfolio value, it's going to be a hard road for you because this is the nature of crypto right now, is we're looking at some serious volatility in the markets, serious volatility. And you just need to be prepared for that. And you need to be prepared for doing your research and also understanding that you might not get your cookie right away, right? A lot of people come in, and I know we have tens of thousands of new entrants into this channel alone. And you're all looking for that immediate payoff. And I've seen it, and super chats like that, Squiggly Wiggins, really underline the attitude of a lot of new people in the space, which is, oh my God, I'm poorer on paper than I was 5 minutes ago. Well, guess what? Yesterday you were 10 times richer on paper than you were 5 minutes ago. It cuts both ways. And for the most part, it takes a while to really become consistently a winner in the market. If we look at the 1 hour chart here, we'll start to see some color here. We're seeing 2 green candles in a row. We'll see if we can close this. But again, we really want to push. We really need something to power up and over, right? If we get this big, like if we get a big red candle like this, let me get my face to be a little smaller here. But again, if we end up with something similar to this, right, where we had this huge capitulation candle, we'll really need to pump up here. And it could take, what is this, a day or two to really resolve itself. But we'll need to give it a second to play out, right? Something like this is a big formation change. We had a huge wick down, but this is a promising wick, right? Just so if you guys are new here, you can see that this wick alone was like a 10% wick. And so what you need to understand is that, when you get these huge candles, they typically indicate, or something like this, if you see a huge big green volume coming in, big buying volume, and you see the candle start and it goes super far down, but it ends up becoming a green candle, that is in and of itself can mean a reversal. It can. Again, I'm not a TA expert, and I don't actually like to go on and do a lot of TA. I like to focus on fundamental analysis because that's what's given me the ability to transform my portfolio tremendously, is finding coins that aren't being recognized by the markets and waiting for them to have their moment in the light. And I find it's something that is a little bit more replicable than trading. Again, if you guys want to trade, you can trade. And, I have links to trading trading platforms if you want to do that in the description. But if you want to learn, to me, to do something it does take a lot of effort, but it doesn't take like that laser quick and that precision that you need to be doing trading on Bitcoin. And so I find that people typically have more success finding good coins and just holding them until they make big pops and then taking some profits. It's not like, yes, you need to be checking your portfolio a lot. You need to be like watching the coins. You can't just be completely passive. However, I mean, you can, right? If you look, let's look at synthetics. If you identified synthetics as a good mover in DeFi and you bought in March or something, you didn't have to do anything. In fact, doing nothing was your best friend. Absolutely your best friend. And so that's kind of my goal, is to find coins that have this ability to grow from just a couple of cents up to the tens of dollars maybe. And it sounds astronomical, it sounds crazy, but when you do it over and over and over again, you realize it's totally possible. Obviously, it's only possible in a bull run. It's not possible in a bear market, but in a bull run, finding the good coins early, undervalued, that's what I like to focus on. And so these moments to me are actually really exciting because Bitcoin moving and soaking up all the spotlight, to me, it puts some of these plans on pause. Obviously, there are some really good coins that are still absolutely trucking throughout this period, like Alliance Block, like Parsec, Octo's doing really well. There's a ton of them that are doing really well. But it does kind of free up some excitement. I mean, if we look back at DeFi, you could see, let's look at DeFi here. You can see there was tons and tons of coins that were exploding with growth during August. RSR had an amazing August. It took it months to overcome those highs. Thorchain finally overcoming those highs again. Thorchain was on my god tier coins list, and you can see, it took it a while, right? Thorchain had this amazing August rampage as Bitcoin was really boring. Here, and so when you see this opportunity for things to correct a bit, again, a lot of people turn their back on Thorchain. We were covering it here in November, saying, "Hey, Thorchain is one of our favorite tokens," and why? Because you do the research, and then when these things happen, you can kind of be a little passive. So if you want to learn to trade Bitcoin, that's cool. I definitely recommend checking out Crown's Crypto Cave. I know a lot of you guys did subscribe to Crown's Crypto Cave yesterday. So definitely smart of you guys to do that if you want more TA, like in-depth TA. But I'm just excited because, like I make this comparison a lot. You look at Neo. Neo was a flavor of the last bull run. And you see what happened when Bitcoin broke down here, starting on the 11th of June, all the way down through the, through the 17th of June. You had Neo being one of the key sort of, here, the 14th of June, you see Neo go from, here, let me magnify this a little bit so you guys see it better. Make myself just a little bigger. But you have Neo starting here at about the 14th of June, literally as 1 or 2 days after Bitcoin really starts falling, and you have it do a pretty much a 7 plus X, 8X or whatever. And this is as Bitcoin's capitulating. So it's all about identifying those flavorful, those trending altcoins, right? And so, in our modern bull run, the trending altcoins are DeFi. Polkadot's a big narrative because interoperation with Ethereum and by extension DeFi. You see how important DeFi kind of underpins all of the trending altcoin narratives. You have oracles, you have insurance. Why are these things so important? Because of decentralized finance, the requirements for accurate data, the need to ensure the trillions of dollars coming into the ecosystem. So I'm going to be doing a coins list. I know it's your guys' favorite. I know on this channel, if you guys are new here, I do some coins list videos and they tend to be fan favorites because it gives you kind of an easy to follow list of coins that I'm looking at. Again, not financial advice. You guys got to do your own research. But I tend to find that those are videos that people really, really enjoy. I'll be dropping that in the next, 48 hours. And if you guys are excited for that, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I'm going to hop into the chats right now and we're going to look at some coins that you guys are looking at. BTC dump was needed completely. I mean, the thing has been up, just straight up. It's a rocket straight up. I'll take my chat screen over here so I'm not looking over to the side. Buy now or never. Shout out Mary Jane. Hope LTC 10K. I got lots. Yeah, I hope for your sake as well. I'm not a big investor in Litecoin. I think that its use case has kind of been upended by stable coins. Not quite sure what the narrative there really is at the moment. So, but you see it doing really well, right? You see a lot of times a lot of tremendous growth, right? A lot of tremendous growth there. So, what can I say? People absolutely love Litecoin, that love it. I'm personally not a big fan, not a big investor, but I hope you guys all make money. Low cap gem, $10 million only. Okay. Let's see what else you guys want to talk about right now. 7K viewers. That's right. 7380. I think this is the most viewers I've ever had in a live stream. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And I hope this content has been helping you contextualize what's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on with Ethereum. Sorry, this would be, oh, no, they're all Bitcoin now. So I clicked over to Bitcoin, unfortunately. What's going on with Bitcoin, how these moves compare to the historic moves that we've seen in the past, what we see with trending altcoins in the past when these moves happen, and how you guys can prepare yourself. And in my opinion, the best way to prepare, because to be honest, Bitcoin going to 100,000 right now would double your money. A lot of people can't afford a whole Bitcoin. They can't, right? But we've seen just in the last day or so, we've seen coins like, Ramp has gone and done a 3x, right? What is this? It was down here at 4 cents. Yeah, it's up here at 4. That's a 4x out of Ramp. A really fundamentally strong project that actually reached out to me, and I'm actually going to be taking them on as a channel sponsor. If you guys know the channel, I'm very, very picky. I almost never take on channel sponsors. I get probably like 500 inquiries a week of people who want to sponsor and give me coins or some payment, and I reject them all because I want to make sure that you guys can get ahead. But Ramp I see as a really fundamentally strong project that has an opportunity to provide something really useful to the community. API 3, again, a fantastic project, part of the Oracle sector. Again, let's look at the Oracle sector. And the best way to sort of look at this, you can think of different sectors as having kind of like tips of the spear, right? So if you look at the Oracle tab, and again, if you guys are new to using CoinGecko, there is one site to rule them all for looking at coins and coin information and metadata, and that is CoinGecko. So you guys want to definitely go to CoinGecko, and then if you go to a coin like Chainlink, you can see there's all these tags here: business service, smart contracts platform, decentralized finance, Oracle, DOT. And so if you go in, you can see that this is the Oracle, the top Oracle projects by market capitalization. And what you can see here is that there's a bunch of these here now listed. And you can see I'm a little bit confused as to why they don't have Octo in here, as it's also one that I've been looking at. And they don't have Ori in here, which are the sort of lower cap opportunities in this particular genre. But we're seeing here is a bubble up of the oracles. And if you look at Chainlink, look at what happened to it over the course of, 2020. Well, Chainlink had like this amazing 2019, right? So it had this amazing 2019 where people just started to realize it had the perfect storm of news kind of get attached to it, where they had a Coinbase listing, they had a Google partnership, they had a bunch of things happen where it was just the fundamental strength was there. And then so this became like the blow off top of 2019. Again, the market really corrected after, this is as Bitcoin was bulling super hard too. And then the market corrected and the smart money kept accumulating here. And then, you had these kind of ebbs and flows, but then Chainlink really just goes on a tear in 2020, and you see the August just explosion of Chainlink. And this was along with the explosion of DeFi. And so you see the explosion of DeFi, and it brought with it oracles, because oracles are so needed for this new genre of decentralized finance applications built on Ethereum. And so all of a sudden, the value prop for Chainlink becomes 10x as obvious. And what you got with it was here, let's get back to the Oracle tab. Oops. What you got with it is, what's a good example of this here? Let's look at DOS, right? DOS we actually covered because I recognized this trend really early. And I said, hey, look, this trend of oracles popping off is clear because we saw Band go, and then, I saw Band go from like $1 to like $3 really quickly. And I said, hey, this just pulled to 3x. Watch all oracles, long all oracles. And so as Chainlink explodes in its wake, you saw things like DOS, which we were covering here at about 2 cents, go from 2 cents up to an eye-watering 36 cents, 38 cents, almost a 20x, right? And so this is the magic of altcoins, is you can take 2 cents and turn it into 40, right? And even if you just put a couple bucks into these types of things, you can absolutely send them. And by the way, I'm not telling you to get into DOS. I'm not saying to get into DOS. DOS isn't my favorite of the Oracle plays. But I'm just saying that once Chainlink explodes, and I'm looking for Chainlink to overcome its prior high, you can see here, Chainlink's prior high here was about, I think, 19 bucks back here. Yep. Yeah, so back in August, it still hasn't overcome its prior high yet, Chainlink. But you're seeing coins like Synthetics that have already done it. You're seeing coins like Rune that have already done it. And maybe Coinbase or Chainlink had way too much of a blow off top here in August. But you're looking at it, it clearly looks like it wants to. This is a chart that wants to, right? You can see the desire here out of the Chainlink chart, wanting to get back to this all-time high. And if we can see some geometric growth, like an explosion of price discovery on Chainlink, that's going to be my signal that oracles are going to be a huge, huge play. And one of the beautiful things is you probably don't even have to wait for that, or you probably don't have to front run that too much, though obviously the earlier you get in, the better. Obviously, I've been a big believer that sort of Band is the second mover in that space, but also API 3 I think is the most interesting technological change there. So, alrighty. Prior high was 21 on Coinbase. Wow, there you go. There you get it. But I don't think Coinbase is the arbiter, right? You want to look for market-wide validation. 8,000 of you guys in the chat. Thank you guys so much for showing up, spending your time. I hope you guys are enjoying the recap and the context, helping you guys put these violent Bitcoin and cryptocurrency moves into perspective and understand what happens after the Bitcoin dump, what happens after the Ethereum dump, a false breakout from Ethereum, what it all means. And if this is giving you guys some value, I really appreciate the thumbs up. No need to super chat. No need to give me money here, guys. We just want the thumb up. That's all we want, is that like. Thanks for sharing your thoughts in a sympathetic and honest way. Unlike other YouTubers, please share your thoughts on Theta and Zilliqa. So Theta is really cool. It's really big. It'll probably get pumped with majors. Theta is just a massive token, right? So, and that's kind of what happens is with a. Thank God, by the way, they stopped showing furniture ads here. I mean, I bought furniture once, right? They show me ads for like 3 years. So you got Theta Network here, and it's sitting here at about Yeah, $1.9 billion in market cap, right? So, crazy, right? And I was saying that Theta was going to get sent here from, I talked about it briefly. It's done about, yeah, that's really nice gains, about a 4x here from late 2020. Really nice. Again, it's so big that it's kind of hard to move these big ships unless you get these huge swells of liquidity. So in my opinion, it'll move with the majors. But it's a really interesting platform, a decentralized content platform. I've been meaning to start sharing over there. It's just so much easier to just share here on YouTube. Need to get set up there, but I'm evolving my own sort of content setup over time. Zilliqa, same thing. Also going to be good in major bull trends. A lot of the top 100s are more exciting than they have been, right? I tend to, on this channel, find smaller coins that people don't know about, the kind of like page 6, page 7 of CoinGecko. That's kind of how I built my community here, is by finding these really hard to, because like by the time you get to page 7 of CoinGecko or whatever, page 5, page 6, you're looking at stuff that people just don't know too much about. And there's a lot of stuff here that probably should and will never move. And there's a lot of stuff that's like old and dead and dying. You see Rev is a favorite of the channel. Rev actually was about, 1 penny when we were first talking about it, ended up hitting about 7 cents. So those are the types of moves that can really amplify your portfolio. And if only your goal is just to get more Ethereum and Bitcoin, to get more of your top coins like Polkadot and Cardano, and these kind of help do that because they can move in a much more violent and fast way, right? And so helping differentiate between the sort of the sea of coins out here is something that I love to focus on. And so this is kind of how I've tried to approach the market. And yeah, Unilend, again, it's starting to get strength again, but you can see, we first started covering this one back here at what is this, like 13 cents it went down to, and it hit almost $1, right? That's a huge gain, right? And those gains will allow you to do things before Bitcoin does its thing. And if anything, just, get more Bitcoin, right? We can see here, if we're checking in on Bitcoin, it seems like Bitcoin is, the bears are pushing back here, or the bulls rather are pushing back here. Let's go ahead and look at the hourly candle. It's too early to call this ball game, but it's nice to see a little bit of a bullish pushback here. Nice to see this momentum here again. This big green reversal candle was very much what you want to see. You see that when you want to see a reversal candle, either red or green, you want to see that there is a small candle and a big wick, and that shows you that there is a huge amount of change there. The big wick shows you that it went way down and came way up, and you see this matched with the volume signature down here at the bottom also shows you that there was a lot of buying interest here in the low 34,000s. And again, it has confluence here because we had this horizontal line. If we're going to go ahead and just get a little bit technical here, we get a horizontal line here, and you can see that this matches really well with some areas of buying activity and bouncing and support here, as well as a top behavior here. You see that these tops over here and these support lines over here matched up with this area here. Let me move this over. This area of price interest over here matches all the way along here. And that's when you'll start to see things on a TA spectrum that tend to start lining up when you see multiple areas behaving or having an impact on the price here. You have multiple areas showing areas of significance. So it looks like these $34,000 level is going to be an area of support for those traders who want to long off of it. Again, I'm not much of a trader, but this is just what I'm looking at. It looks like, again, yeah, you're seeing more bullishness here. You're seeing these the bulls push even higher here. But again, we'll have to see how this plays out, and whether it is the case that Bitcoin just continues its absolutely amazing tear. Not a bad thing, right? Not a bad thing, because that just means that it's going to slingshot those altcoins even higher and even further when that does end up happening. And if it is the case, and yep, we can see that it actually closed this candle very nicely green. We'll see what happens on this next hourly candle. But if it is the case that Bitcoin does continue onwards and upwards, that we just get this amazing push back up here, and we keep continuing onward and upward, then blessed be the fruit, right? Because that just means that we're going to get an even bigger, even stronger altcoin season when Bitcoin does correct. To me, I'm indifferent, right? And I'm unemotional as well. And I hope I can get you guys to that phase of seeing the multiple outcomes with none of them being too bad right now, because there's going to be a cycle into the alts. There always is. If you look at the big crash of Bitcoin in 2017, let's let's go ahead and go over here. This period of this devastation on Bitcoin was pretty much the most amazing, most bullish time for altcoins that had ever existed in history. And so people were made instant millionaires by this crash of Bitcoin if they were in the right altcoins. And so to me, understanding the various opportunities here, making sure that you have a diversified portfolio. A lot of people are Bitcoin, only types of people, and bless them. They'll probably win more than they lose over time. I mean, Bitcoin's only going to go up over time, in my opinion, on a long enough time frame. However, I like to diversify because my goal is to maximize the effect of these bull runs. And I don't like being very passive. I like being very active. And the more active I am, the more I feel in control of my own destiny here. That's just how I like to do it, right? If you guys enjoy my opinion and you like my approach to the markets, the best thing you can do is just give me a like on this video. How to spot low price coins. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a lot of low cap market analysis soon. I'm going to be giving you my coin picks over the next few weeks. Again, no guarantees, guys. These coin picks are very volatile. You win big, you can lose big, and you need to know that going in. There's a lot of newbies here, so I kind of need to state the rules of the game for you, which is that it's a wild bucking bronco, the altcoin market. All right. For the OGs, you guys know the game, right? You guys know how this works. And so I don't need to break it down so much for you. But for the newbies, I want to make sure that you guys understand the risk reward pendulum here. As you go higher in the reward sector, you go higher in the risk sector. Do you think Bondly is still a good hold? Love your stuff. Yeah, I still hold quite a bit of Bondly personally. They still haven't quite delivered on their tech yet. So there's still like releases and stuff to look forward to. And I believe that the Polkadot hype is another trend that I could see reemerging, and so Bondly will likely benefit from that. And yeah, I mean, for people who were waiting for good entries into Bondly, maybe this is the best time. Again, I just don't think panic selling at the bottoms is ever really a good idea in a bull run. And you just gotta give them some time. UNN on fire. Any price prediction? UNN, again, I was one of the first creators to cover UNN. I think I was one of the first YouTubers, or at least bigger YouTubers that I know about, to really go into the, let's go here, compound. Let's go ahead. UNN. Is UNN in the insurance tag yet? It is. Yes, it is. Insurance. YAM is insurance. I didn't know that. At any rate, don't buy YAM, guys. Don't buy YAM. It's a meme coin. Don't do it. But yeah, I covered UNN, EtherRisk, Insure at the beginning of November, end of October, sometime in there, right? I forgot what the actual date of that video is. And Insure was like a penny, right? And it's at 6.5 cents. EtherRisk was like, I think it actually came down a bit, but I think it was like 13 mil market cap, maybe a 2x from there. And UNN hadn't even launched yet. And so UNN, very interesting. They're going to be releasing some project stuff. I actually have communication with their team, and I'm going to be pretty objective, right? They're going to be bringing out some new features, and I tend to find myself to be a pretty cynical, pretty hard audience to impress. Like I said, when for a coin to get the kind of reception like Euler gets on the channel, you got to be doing something absolutely amazing. You got to be introducing something brand new. And there's a lot of coins that come to me. They want to give me some sort of incentive package, and I mostly reject them all. I sometimes will invest in projects, but if I cover them, and I cover them here, it means I believe in them, pure and simple. I'm not always right, but I use my experience and I try to make good decisions, and it's led me to a good place so far. Cover Protocol, they had a horrible hack. Hopefully they recover and they recover. Let's see, they have Cover Protocol new. 421. So let's see. I haven't really checked in on this. But again, Cover Protocol was hacked, and it, to me, brings up the need for insurance. I mean, that's the stinging irony of an insurance coin getting hacked, is that who insures the insurers? And it shows that there needs to be not just one, but multiple insurance protocols cross-insuring each other. That is the future. Somebody said that sounded dumb below the video when I put that out. I mean, how can that be dumb? Why would having multiple providers cross-insuring each other in the event of, worst case scenario, an exploit, a hack, a bug, or some kind of smart contract risk, why is that bad? To me, that's like the best possible scenario, is to know that you not have one, but two or three safety nets, making sure that that the insurers who are providing insurance for other projects are also protected themselves. And I think this is part of the maturation of the industry that we'll see. And that's why insurance is one of these really underdeveloped niches. I put this on my explosive trends for 2021 video, and I stick to it that insurance is going to be a big winner, especially as you see the rise of DeFi again, which I believe has not yet seen the mania phase of 2021. That's still my prediction. We will still see DeFi mania. I believe that TVL and DeFi is still set to push upwards into the hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars and maybe even higher. And if we look here at DeFi Pulse, you can see that since I made this prediction of DeFi's market cap going parabolic around 13 billion, I think was where it was, we're now over double that, or we hit at its peak, maybe not quite a 2x from there. And so we've already like 2x in a couple of days. The idea that we could another 2x from there, geometric growth on DeFi's TVL, to me, that's just going to be part of it, right? That's just going to be part of it. I'll get my head out of the way. Sorry, guys. All right, let's look at some questions. ADA $5 by 2025, unrealistic? I mean, it just depends, right? It depends on if old Charles delivers. Again, I'm going to be doing some more ADA coverage. I had kind of not covered it because they've been taking so long, and maybe I was just a little bit, I'm a little bit disappointed with the timelines of Charles, and I tend to avoid sometimes the professor coins, like Charles has, but he's a professor. He wants to do things right. Who can blame him? He's a smart guy. He's an interesting guy. But yeah, I need to sort of reacquaint with the ADA community and give a big update on the ADA project, which I will do. But again, we still don't even have smart contracts on ADA. And this is now like 5 years down the road. So, okay, we're waiting on it. We're excited. Elio, voice of reason in the shameless, in the sea of shameless bag shilling, always smash the like button. Thoughts on XLM or alt DeFi play flipping XRP for payments? I was always bigger on XLM than XRP because Jed McCaleb was really the brainchild, the person, the genius who created XRP, and he moved on to create a better ecosystem that was more fair and more distributed and more decentralized. In the end, it's hard because there's a lot of growth that's happened in the payments industry, and XLM just doesn't market. They're working on some big targets, but they just do not market themselves. They do not push their project, and they do not care about really engaging the crypto community. But I have nothing but respect for Jed and the project, and I believe that XLM would be the absolute choice that I would make in that particular category. However, I'm not a big bag holder of these big payments tokens because I think payments infrastructure is being disrupted in other ways, and stable coins are really going to be a big part of that story. So, having these kind of intermediary coins like XLM and XRP, maybe not my particular bet on who's going to win that race. Love your work, Elio. Thank you for the super chat, guys. So many super chats who are not just trying to show their bags. I appreciate it. Got an update on ALBT for us. Looks like it'll be exciting Q1 ahead. P.S. I love your channel. It helped me navigate this space so much. Yes, you're welcome. And let's just say I cover my favorite coins a lot because they're my favorites, because they do stuff that I think is important. Some of us are new and bought a fairly high ETH price, 1200 range. Any wisdom of hope for us? The wisdom of hope is that Ethereum is, to date, the best chance we have at creating a decentralized world computer, period. So, Ethereum. Ethereum, what it promises is the idea that we have a decentralized network for computation, for running applications, that there's not just one tyrant that is the App Store, that is the Ethereum Android Store, that is the Samsung Store, that nobody can decide for you what should or shouldn't be run on the internet. There's also a brilliance in what Ethereum allows for decentralized finance to take flight. And while it is a very congested network at present, the reality is very bright for Ethereum if and when, more like when they do end up scaling. It's the network that everybody wants to be on. And so this has the Bitcoin effect of, despite the fees, despite the slow block times, despite the expensive and slow nature of it, it has the developer network and it has the investor network. So what's really amazing about Ethereum is there's just absolutely nowhere to launch your project that even comes close to Ethereum, because that is where the actual network effect takes place. So if you're looking at Ethereum long term, it's not only like a world computer, but it's also a financial network, the likes of which have never seen before. And all of the value on Bitcoin is also being wrapped and used interchain on Ethereum through projects like Ren, which wrap Bitcoin for WBTC, Ren BTC, and these types of wrapped Bitcoin that are being used in DeFi. So what Ethereum actually does, the actual value of the network only grows exponentially as you see things like the TVL and DeFi grow, as you see Bitcoin grow, as you see the push away from traditional finance grow, and money goes where it's treated best. And right now it's being treated way better in DeFi. If we see here, we can go to DeFi rate, and what we see here is a 12% APY on Fulcrum for stable coins, right? We see a 15% APY for USDC, right? You can't get 15% at the bank. You can't even get 1% at the bank, right? And so to me, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer that we would have financial institutions and players start to migrate away from that traditional world because their money's being treated way better here. I mean, this is, even in the worst case scenario, this is way better than any inflation here. And it's got very little risk if you're insured, right? If I'm insured on my whole stack here, even if Fulcrum gets hacked or something, I know I'm getting my APY. Again, these aren't fixed, right? So fixed APY is going to be an interesting innovation. But this is where, the yield farming, the yield optimization platforms like YFI and other things like that start to really show themselves. You have BlockFi again. I'm a BlockFi partner. They're a sponsor of the channel. And you can actually sign up and get 8.6% APY on BlockFi by using the code LEO Trades. You get a $250 bonus for depositing $50 worth of crypto, if I'm remembering that right. And the link for that is in the description if you guys want to check it out. But in the end, what we're seeing here is that this is what's treating money better on every single one of these things. Aave, Compound, DYDX, Fulcrum. These are Ethereum-based innovations. And so the actual value of Ethereum's network, in my opinion, should be in the trillions in the future. Granted, there are things that could prevent that, like scaling. Nothing's a guarantee. But I see Ethereum as being something truly special, right? So if Ethereum dumps, like Ethereum when it was at $200, I was saying to everybody, buy this. This is so easy. Like seeing what's happened in DeFi. Once DeFi was really clear, the value of Ethereum to me skyrocketed. And to me, it's just catching up now. It's just catching up. It's playing catch up right now. But I was begging everyone in the beginning of the year here to where is it? Right here in these early months of 2020, I was begging everyone to buy Ethereum. When we crashed and we were working our way up to the August peak here, I was begging everyone to buy Ethereum here in the $200 range, right? And now everyone's finally realizing how valuable it is. And yeah, it's just done this, right? It's just done this. So, there might be some of this. But again, if you understand what the project is, and you understand the fundamentals, that's why we preach fundamentals on this show. Because if you understand fundamentals, you don't get as shaken by the ups and downs. And it's never, ever been the case that crypto is a slip and slide, a smooth ride. It's always going to be rocky. Always, always, always. So if you understand that and you understand how to focus on long-term, low time preference, then you'll also understand that $1,200 is an arbitrary number. It's a completely arbitrary number on the way to, let's look at what Ethereum's current market cap is. We have a $140 billion market cap on Ethereum, 147. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. Let me actually do this really quick and get to this where I show you this chart. I like to look at this because you can start to understand this is a little outdated here because it says 244 billion. We're at like 1.1 trillion. So about 4x cryptocurrencies. So you can about 12 blocks here or whatever, or 10 blocks, whatever. But imagine 10 blocks is all of cryptocurrency. And of those, 1.5 blocks is Ethereum. And so you're looking here at, stock markets. You're looking here at debt, right? Looking at borrowing and lending. Ethereum is 1 block, right? But this is the market it's trying to upend, right? Which is debt, finance. We're looking at derivatives, right? I talk a lot about derivatives. The notional value of this is 1 quadrillion. 1,000 of these blocks, it would be 10,000 blocks, right? I think if I did that math right. Yeah, because each block is 100 billion. So 1 block is a trillion, or 1 row is a trillion. So 10,000 of these blocks. I don't know. I'll take the bet that Ethereum's undervalued, personally. That's my bet. So does that make you feel better? I hope it does. Happy New Year, and hope you have a healthy and wealthy 2021. Thank you, Pink Summer. Gosh, we're almost at 1,000 viewers, or 10,000 viewers in the chat. That is extremely flattering. This is without a doubt the most popular live stream I've ever done. If you guys could all give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content, it'll help us get just a few more people in the chat. Maybe we'll hit that golden number of 10K. Again, I appreciate all of you spending your time with me. It means a lot to me. All we have in the world is our time. Okay. Okay, for you spamming the chat, Euler's not out yet, guys. I said that in the video. I said it a bunch of times. Guys, it's not out yet. Thoughts on ETH Classic? I'm not bullish, personally, but it might pump. It's a correction, not a dump. As much as I'd like altcoin season to start, I know a correction when I see one. Well, apparently Adrian Martinez knows a correction when he sees one. Again, guys, this is also what I'm saying is, you know, as these hours have ticked on, things are looking a little better, right? Things are looking a little better here. Let me get rid of this horizontal. And let's go over to the hourly. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. See, this is what we want to see, right? We're seeing the bulls fight back and take control again. When you see these kinds of candles, these huge reversal candles, remember we called this reversal candle. I mean, again, I'm not an expert here on TA, but it doesn't take much to see this huge green volume down here and this huge reversal pattern. And it looks like the bulls want this one back. Again, this was a huge, huge correction of the most vicious we've seen, 18% from top of wick yesterday to today. And so, you know, when we see these types of things, we can imagine that there's going to be some real fireworks here. But again, this volatility, it's all opportunity. And again, until we start seeing Bitcoin stop really commanding the show and we see some real liquidity start to flow out of Bitcoin, we won't get those 100x moves. But I'm going to keep steadily accumulating the bags that I love. I'm going to be coming out with my favorite altcoin list very soon in the next sort of 48 hours, like I said. And so you definitely going to want to subscribe and put that bell notification on so you're made aware when I put those out, because I've called some really good altcoins. You know, not all of them perform, but the ones that I do support tend to do all right. And I'm hoping to keep that reputation and that streak going. So if you guys are excited for that, go ahead, smash the like button and subscribe. All right. How important is volume with crypto? It's important. It's a thing. Buy into BTC. Let's rally against these sellers. Amen, brother. Amen. All right. It seems like I've gotten to a lot of chat. Actually, let me get what are the chances of NEO reaching old all-time highs? It's not a gamble I'm taking, but it could. Anything is possible. If you were going to invest 10K in an altcoin today, where would you put it in? A single altcoin? A single altcoin. Gosh, it's hard, right? Because I don't want you guys, just because I put 10K into a coin, my portfolio is maybe not the same size as yours, right? So 10K for me or 10K for someone who that's their only money. Thank you for your honesty. Newcomers love it. And Ren bull market price prediction. Yeah, Ren could go really high. I mean, if it becomes the de facto bridge for Bitcoin, it could go extremely, extremely high. I think Bitcoin has hundreds of billions or at one point trillions of dollars that want to go into DeFi. Maybe Ren is doing hundreds of billions of dollars in volume, so it could be really, really high. I put my BTC into Tether. Do you feel we will have more correction tomorrow? Anyone telling you they know exactly what's going to happen with Bitcoin price is selling you a bag of goods right now. You just have to play probabilities. Bitcoin right now throughout 2021 looks like a good bet. I'm holding my BTC, not trading it, and I'm also just accumulating alts. That's my strategy. I do have some USDC just in case, but that's just kind of like for when I need to get in and out of particular coins. I don't like sit a lot in USDC. Thoughts on Bird money? Yeah, it's interesting, right? It's interesting. There's definitely some issues with Bird and the concept, but it's not in and of itself. It's not in and of itself like bad or good per se. It's just one of those things of you know, Bird money. It could solve a big problem, and it could also be ineffective, that system they developed. I have 30K in BTC and ETH and want to set it and forget it. What allocation? Easy is just to split them. Like I said, ETH, in my opinion, will probably outperform on percentage points, on percentage change. But Bitcoin is, that long term. Bitcoin could get just like all these big wealthy money bags going into it. So it might be that Bitcoin super cycle. So those are the types of things you want to allow for. And so just split them if it's easy, right? You could go, it depends on what you believe in more. If you believe digital gold is the narrative that's stronger, then go for Bitcoin. No one in history has been sad about their Bitcoin buys for the most part. And then, Ethereum to me is just what's happening there is just fantastic. It's just fantastic. So I have, probably about equal parts. No, my Ethereum bull's a little harder. So I have like a little bit more Ethereum, but I'm also like really exposed to altcoins. I'm really exposed to altcoins. It's just how I believe the market moves. It's how I've chosen to structure my portfolio. Thoughts on Algo? Not a ton of thoughts on Algo. Thoughts on Binance DeFi? I think Binance DeFi is actually coming up. I actually invested in a Binance prediction market recently into one of the pre-sales. That's actually pretty interesting. Let me see if I can find some information on it for you guys. Yeah, I can't find the doc on it. I want to prepare a little bit. I don't like doing these things spur of the moment too. I don't like doing spur of the moment. I like to prepare a little bit. Slow mode. I don't know what that means. Oh, you mean on the chat? Well, you're spamming slow mode, so maybe you need to be put on timeout. Please summarize how BTC price movement impacts alts. Thanks. You can actually rewind because I did that at the beginning of the episode. I'd appreciate it if you go back and watch that. I don't want to bore people with going in circles. Sia coin. I don't have any. That was kind of last cycle. What do you think of Sushi Swap? Choose for Arch DAO instead of Keeper DAO. I don't know. I need to look into that, to be honest. Mahadao. Yeah, it was really good at the beginning. That's like an early one you want to get into, but now it's gotten a little bigger. You want to see about their fundamentals. Freeway Token. I'm waiting on them to release their product before I do more content. 10K, one coin, nothing to lose. Feeling savvy. I don't know. I'd probably put it on something like, gosh. I'll include that question in my upcoming altcoins list. I'll include that question. It's hard because I love a lot of coins, and that's not the way to structure a portfolio. You want to get a bunch of different good coins and then just sort of structure your likelihoods with the ones that have the most bullish momentum and upside. And that way you have the chance of getting, that 100x. But if you don't get that 100x, you want to make sure you get the 5, 10x's across the board. So it's one of those things where that's all in on one token. I think that would send the wrong message. There's just too many newbies here for me to answer that question. Ramp it up, baby. Yep, Ramp is really, really cool. Really, really cool. Thoughts on Nimic? Yeah, I haven't seen a lot from them in a while. Update on Anchor would be good. Yeah, I'll update on Anchor. I'm not aware right now. What do I think of Ferrum Network? It's interesting. I know the founder, I was talking to him before. They've been on an absolute tear. This guy, Mr. Business Intelligence. Guys, go give Mr. Business Intelligence a follow. He called Ferrum. He called Ferrum hard several times. And he's got some really good fundamental analysis as well. Yeah, Ferrum here. He thinks it's going to $5, which would be really, 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 really big. I think it's only at like 20 cents right now, which would mean that it would be, that would be like a 20x from here. So that would be big news. But he was calling Ferrum from like half a penny. So that would be like a bajillion X for him. At any rate, there's just some interesting stuff going on in altcoins, guys. I'm going to wrap this up because we've been going for quite a while. But essentially, what's going on with Bitcoin is it dumped really hard, but we don't know yet whether the liquidity is flowing out yet. If the liquidity is going to flow out, that means that we're going to see some absolute fireworks in the altcoins. If this is just a correction, just a little bit of a head fake on the retail audience, which is totally possible, then this could mean that we're just going to see a lot more bullish action for Bitcoin. And until we really see it cool out and we see liquidity flow out of Bitcoin, it's going to be impossible to see some of these alts do these magnificent numbers. But the bubble up is real, and there's still some amazing projects doing amazing gains. And that's why I'm going to continue to cover the altcoins, because you don't just want to get there after the pumps. You don't want to get there after the fireworks have happened. You want to be there before the fireworks. So while Bitcoin steals the show and everyone's attention, I'm always looking the other way. When altcoins are going absolutely too parabolic, you definitely want to be thinking about that as well, because you always want to be one step ahead of the market. By doing everything reactively, you end up absolutely losing this game. You need to be proactive, and you need to look around the corners and anticipate what's coming next. And if you learn to do that, you learn to analyze projects, you learn to understand when things are not being recognized by the market to be as valuable as they should be, then there's a huge opportunity. And that's how I believe the best ways to navigate crypto are. If you enjoy my opinion and my approach to the market, then please give me a thumbs up. It's the freest and easiest way to support this content and support this channel and get this content out to more viewers. Again, if you guys are not already subscribed, I'm going to be putting out my altcoins list in the next 48 hours. So you definitely want to subscribe and put that bell notification on. That way you're made aware exactly when I put out new content, and you'll be the first people in the world to know. Again, I see some fake gurus popping up everywhere. They all have their Patreons out. They all have their VIP list out, and that is a huge red flag to me. So be careful when people are selling you knowledge, because anyone with a Patreon, anyone with a VIP list, that's a big, big red flag to me about how they're prioritizing their information release and what they're really trying to do with their channel, where they're trying to make their money. For me, I'm always trying to make my money from the market. I'm always trying to make my money from the strategies that I put into effect. And so if someone's trying to make their money from you paying them, that to me is a big, big red flag. So keep that in mind, that as this bull market comes up and explodes, we have the fake guru explosion too. And I make a point here. I don't even tell the people on my research team. I don't even tell my personal assistants or my close employees. Nobody knows the coins that I talk about before I talk about them. So if that's a value to you guys, if that's a value to you guys, please subscribe to the channel and put that bell notification on. With that said, you can follow me on my socials. The links for both of those are in the description. And if you guys want to get a bonus on your BlockFi deposits, the links for both for that is in the description as well. BlockFi.com/LEOTrades. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been absolutely amazing. Hopefully this helped you guys deal with the tumultuous Bitcoin dump of this morning. And I'm a firm believer that things are still looking really, really good for 2021. And it's truly a blessing to be experiencing this with you guys, so many of you guys all at once. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.